Was the 85 Fiero a financial mistake, or are these random clips strung together to mislead you? Find out in today's episode.
What is going on, guys? We are hitting the ground running today. I am on my way to see another...
Okay, look, I'm gonna be honest. This stuff is boring and I want to get straight into working on the car. So let's fast forward. This is me on the way to buy some wheels. These are the wheels that I bought. American Racing 16x7. They look fan-freaking-tastic. They're super retro and I can't wait to put them on the car. Then I tried driving around to a couple different exhaust shops in the area, but no one wanted to put this thing up on the lifts, mainly because the pinch welds were really crappy and the coolant tubes that run from the front of the car to the back of the car are in really precarious positions, and it's really dangerous to... Listen, I just want to fast forward to the part where we work on the car, so let's go.
Born with gasoline for blood and a turbo for a heart, the lone driver sets out to create the ultimate driving machine. Melding flesh with steel, he harnesses the dark art of automotive mechanics to bend speed and power to his will.
It's time for a blood transfusion. This 3.4-liter V6 heart needs some new juices to flow. Through it. So, we are going to remedy a couple of issues under the hood, trunk, hunk, under the hunk. We have the leaking oil cap, which we need to remedy. You can see that there's a bunch of burnt on oil on the valve cover there, so I'm sure that will help a little bit. We're going to remove these heat covers and finally get rid of all the leaves that are hiding away in these vents. And I'm also going to change the air filter. And then after that, we're gonna jack the car up, get underneath, do a visual inspection, and also get to work on the oil change. So let's get started. So now it's time to actually get under the car and change the oil, but if you remember, it's really hard to get this thing on the 2-post lift, which means it's probably gonna be a pain to get this thing up on the jack. So instead, I'm gonna use some ramps. And I have a friend of mine who has some ramps. So I'm gonna call my friend and have him bring the ramps, and then we're gonna, you know what's, yep. Bring the ramps. The cavalry has arrived. Jordan, what's going on, man?
What's going on, buddy?
Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Hey, you ready to work on an 80s car?
I haven't ever worked on one,
Okay, cool, ramps. Give me the ramps.
I got them.
Give me the ramps.
I got them.
Where's the ramps? Where are the ramps? You got the ramps? Oh my gosh, you have the ramps. And you have a power bleeder. That's convenient. It's almost like we spoke beforehand.
Yeah, right?
And got the stuff. Let's take the plunge. Here we go.
Let's see. I did not expect that, actually.
Kind of juicy. Well, remember the oil cap leaks.
That's a lot of oil for the oil cap.
Listen, man, I'm just trying to be optimistic, okay?
That's pretty wet. It's fresh.
So what are you looking at over there? What do you got?
So you can kind of see the exhaust, the back manifold, but I can't see the flange where it meets the head. So.
Gotcha.
But the other, like the pipe coming down around the back, the crossover looks good.
Looks pretty solid.
Yeah, I don't see any rust, any holes.
Oh, look, there's already poly bushings on the sway bar end links.
Oh yeah, there are.
Nice. Okay, that's a good start. What do we got? What can we see with the suspension under here?
So I can't really see it, but that feels very soft. The cradle bushing there.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of squishiness to it. I don't think that should be.
So a little squish.
Yeah.
Not terrible.
I mean, it's not rusty. It's really clean, aside from
Just the gunk.
yeah the, the oil.
So 85. So.
Nothing. I've seen worse.
So the first order of business is going to be an oil change on this bad boy. We got 4 quarts of really nice synthetic oil, 4 quarts in a 3.4 liter V6.
That is really surprising.
It's pretty strange. We got our oil filter, we got a drain. We're going to use some oil additive. Since we didn't find any evidence of an exhaust leak, I'm thinking maybe it is just lifter tick.
That makes sense with the push rod, but
Yeah.
it shouldn't be a big deal.
Well, commence de-oilification, I guess.
Let's see.
Easy does it.
There we go.
Yeah,
Finally,
to the point where you can do it by hand. Yeah. So it was a 15 millimeter drain plug on this car, and do keep in mind this was a 3.4. It's looking pretty thick, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Wow, that's really thick.
A little syrupy.
All right, so this filter is going to be tricky, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty far back there. It's up on the top side, behind this cradle here.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, that's why that was leaking. It wasn't even.
It was like hand tight?
It wasn't. Yeah, I barely had to put any pressure on it, and it just kind of
Wow.
went. All right, that. I thought it was gonna be on there pretty good. Easier than I thought.
All right, that's not usually the case when working on cars.
I know. It's the first time.
I'll grab the new filter for you.
Sounds good. Do you want to? Can you put some Earl on the gasket there?
You just get some from the pan right there.
Yeah. Just get some from the pan. Like there's some room down here for me to move.
There is, dude. Little dab will do you, man.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, here, want me to?
Oh, there you go.
See, look, I'm helping.
About time.
You volunteered to do the oil change. I'm letting that be known.
I did, and actually it was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be.
Which is very rare for working on cars. Again, I'll say that again.
Yeah, I mean, but this car has been very surprising in a good way, actually.
Ooh, look at that. Look at that goodness. I'm trying to pour and aim the camera, and I'm doing a poor job. All right, well, there it is. We'll put the cap on. We'll start the car, check for leaks, and I think we're good to go, man.
Should be good.
Sweet. We'll also look for a decreased lifter tick. That
would be nice.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Well, all of the replacement oil caps that I found don't match that one. So I guess we're just gonna have to use the leaky one for a bit till I can figure out what the deal is with it. So
Yeah.
slap her on, we'll start her up, and we'll see what happens. I've come to an undisclosed location away from my neighbors. I've gotten a length of vacuum hose as well as some Seafoam. We're gonna Seafoam the motor, we're gonna let it sit, Now that it's up to operating temp, we'll let it sit for a few minutes after I administer the treatment, and we'll turn it back on after a few minutes, and we'll get a nice little smoke show. This will help kind of clear out any carbon deposits in the cylinders, on the pistons, and it'll give us a really nice smoke show. Okay, so the oil change is done, and even after the Seafoam, we're finding that the car is running pretty rich. It still smells pretty gassy behind it.
Yeah, driving behind you earlier, I could smell it.
So I think we're gonna end up having to do the spark plugs. Now this is kind of a dreaded job most of the time, because the spark plugs are back there between the firewall and the motor. You gotta kind of reach your hand down in there. So what we're gonna end up doing is remove this deck lid entirely to free up some space. And though I reinstalled these grills, we're gonna just take those back out as well. There are only 2 bolts on each hinge, and the deck lid will come right off. Definitely a 2-person job, but this will help the car run a little more efficiently, maybe get back 3 or 4 more horsepower.
Maybe, I don't know, we'll see.
We'll just make sure that the plugs are properly gapped.
So we got the back 3 plugs in. It was actually, like I said, easier than I thought. Even that one that was gonna be kind of a pain ended up going in relatively easy. So now we just have to move on to the front 3.
Cool. Tell you what, why don't you take a load off, and I'll volunteer my time to do the front 3 plugs.
Oh, to do the easy 3 plugs.
Hey, teamwork makes the dream work. So what took you so long with your side, dude? I got mine done in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Listen, I don't have time for your excuses. I just want to make sure that this car runs right. So I'm going to hop in and test fire it and make sure that you didn't swap any of the wires over. I know I didn't. I just want to make sure that you didn't mess it up.
Yeah, because you could just go from the dirtiest plug to the cleanest, and then you knew it was in the right order.
Again, I don't have time for your excuses. Okay, let's see it. Let's see if you messed this up or not. Let's see if we still have correct firing order.
I mean, I don't think it would be my fault.
I don't think it would be my. It would be your fault because I know my wires are good.
Look, I can't see over that. You're like 4 feet taller than me. You can see over there perfectly. You should have been watching.
Nothing but excuses the whole time.
Coming from you. Are you ready?
Are you?
I'm waiting.
Okay, here we go. That sounds pretty healthy to me.
That sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay. Well. Nice. All right. Okay, so it's time to put this deck lid back on. It's not that hard of a process. What we're gonna do is we're gonna slide it back into these brackets here, loosely put the bolts on, close it, make sure that it lines up properly with the body lines, and then tighten it down. We have these grills removed so that we're able to access those that hardware to make sure that everything lines up. We'll put the grills back on, and we're good to go.
Should be pretty easy. Definitely worth taking it off and dealing with this and trying to get our hands back in there to do the spark plug. All right, so the last thing that we need to get done here is we need to bleed the brakes.
That is correct. This car requires way more pedal force to slow down than I would like. It is not confidence inspiring, so
yeah.
We should tackle this. Here's the problem. I mentioned before that it's really difficult to get this car up on a 2-post lift, which means that it's going to be really difficult to get it up on a jack and jack stands. But I think if we use the cross members, the cradle for the motor, maybe we could get this thing safely up in the air so that we're able to take the wheels off. That's one of the main hurdles. So I guess there's two things left to do tonight.
Yeah.
It's bleed the brakes and figure out how to freaking jack this thing up. So right on the cradle, huh?
Yeah, the cradle should be perfect to jack it up, get both rear wheels up at the same time, which is nice.
That is nice. It's two wheels, one jack instead of 2 birds, 1 stone. Is that how that works?
Yeah, I guess that's what you could call it.
Okay, good.
I mean, you could open the garage door so I don't have to smack my hand off.
Dude, there's so many bugs out there, dude. They'll come in here and eat all of our bloods.
So, I didn't mess anything up.
We're just gonna go first try. Nice level jack stand action here.
Yep, I didn't.
There it is.
Yeah, perfect. Move to the side.
That ain't going nowhere.
Oh, she's good.
But so we went and got a Thanksgiving classic, a turkey baster. We're gonna use that to remove the majority of the old fluid from the reservoir here.
Let's see how bad this is. I'm sure it's
big yuck. Bad. I think it's big yuck. Oh wow.
Yeah, there it is. All right. Well, almost the same color as that, but
good. It's good.
Yeah. That's looks pretty old and dirty.
Next phase is just filling it back up with clean fluid to begin the bleed. And then from here on out, we'll keep adding clean fluid as it's drawn through the braking system. And voila. So we've run into an issue. These are calipers that are potentially very old, and the little nut there to open the bleeder valve has been stripped.
Yeah, it's been stripped. So we tried to get some like self-locking pliers or anything just to crack it open, and it's seized on there. So it kind of makes sense why brake fluid looks like it hasn't been flushed in a long time. You know, probably came back here, saw it was seized, stripped it, trying to open it, and then said, you know, then don't worry about it.
We don't want to risk putting any like WD-40 or penetrating fluid on there because obviously lubricating your brakes is not the best idea. So I think we'll just replace the calipers, the pads, and the rotors just to be safe.
That's probably a better idea.
I guess I'll hop online and see if I can't find some used parts.
All right. This definitely benefited from from a new set of spark plugs and a good treatment with some engine cleaner. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and say that we've gained all the horsepower back, but it's definitely got its kick. She's a happier motor because of it. Now, we did come into an issue with trying to bleed the brakes. I feel like maybe it's a sound decision to just replace the braking hardware, calipers, pads, rotors, just to, you know, give me peace of mind when I'm out there slaying corners and defeating evil geniuses. Speaking of which, I think I should probably get in touch with HQ and see if they have any more information on this guy, because they haven't spoken to me the entire time I've been working on this car. Give me a second here.
Intel has confirmed that the rival's car is a Toyota MR2.
Oh, this is a bad idea. I can't even see while I'm driving.
While the car has less horsepower, it is significantly lighter than the Fiero. Incoming data. Incoming data. Brand new Intel has discovered the identity of the evil genius. Casey Putsch is your rival. You must defeat your rival. Defeat your rival. Defeat your rival. Defeat your rival.
Okay. It's everything's it's all coming together now. I understand what I have to do. I can't believe Casey Putsch is an evil genius. Well, no, actually I can. He has Batman's car and he has a freaking dinosaur in his evil genius lair. So yeah, that makes sense. We're gonna make quick work of that MR2. We have 2 extra cylinders and me at the wheel. I'm the lone driver. I got this. Thanks for watching, guys. Click subscribe, hit that notification bell, like the video, leave us a comment. What are we missing? What else should we do with this car? I'll see you next time.